gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the final round of the Sitting on the Porch Cup. Sitting on the Porch with a Cup. Coming to you live from the, I believe it's called the TT Assen Circuit. I'm very attractive, and with me, as always, is the man broadcasting live from his palatial hockey rink in Florida, known as Mar-a-Lago. Magas.
Oh, that was good. That was very good.
Of course it is. I'm a professional.
Poetry. We are here at the Assen TT Circuit, or TT Assen.
TT Assen.
And we are here for the finale of the Porsche GT Cup. Tobias Thierolf on the pole position. Henrik Andreasen, Bertrand Barrier, Magic Kashuk, Martin Edmonds, Andrew D, Rene Ermer, Roman Barthez. Hey, Romy Bartz is back. Javier Vega, Max Simmons, James Butler, Luciano Chazo, Scott Nick. That's a hell of a grid, actually. That's like 13 really quality drivers. And we're going to take around this circuit, which I have never raced, actually, on four wheels. I've raced it in Superbike games and in MotoGP, so motorcycles, two-wheel events, but never in a car. And I've not seen it in race room yet. It's one of the few tracks I don't own, so this will be interesting.
I hear that it's so complicated, it makes Macau look like NASCAR.
Oh. Got a warm-up session here. Let's see if there's anyone that I didn't list. Checking the entry list.
I believe Mike Stoffmill is racing in all the cars.
No, there are only 13 cars, so we are good to go. This is Scott Nick's first race of the series, actually.
It's good timing.
Coming in right at the end.
And come in here, win this race, claim he would have won the whole thing if only.
Well, I mean, he's not going to win the whole thing, because Tobias Thierolf has got the whole thing. He's
got the
sewn
whole
this up
squirrel
in a nice tight package.
in his pants.
Having won 4 races this season, taking Oschersleben, Watkins, Glen, one of the Portimao races, one of the Mid-Ohio races. He is your champion! Other race winners have included Rene Ermer, who won the Nordschleife race. Tip of the hat to you, sir. Max Simmons, who despite taking a penalty, did end up winning at Mid-Ohio. And Sambala Steve, who's not here today, who won at Interlagos.
The Slamballer Steve.
Or Steve Sambala. It's weird. He's Sambala Steve in-game. He's Steve Sambala on Race App. So I suspect his first name probably is Steve, last name Sambala.
No, I'm going with the other way around.
Oh. The other way around is more fun. I'm not going to lie.
Yep.
But he is not here today, so we will not be talking about him all that much. We'll sneak it in. So this race circuit is in the Netherlands. It is probably the second most famous circuit in the Netherlands, and as if to prove that point,
I ain't never heard of it.
It's the second one I can name, and I think I can only name 2. The other one is Zandvoort.
I believe actually the other one is Macau.
It is not Macau. Do you even know where Macau is? Like, this is a good question, actually. Where is it?
God, it's in Australia. Northern Australia.
It is not in Northern Australia.
It's very, very far northern Australia. The super northern Australian autonomous zone.
No, sir.
It basically belongs to Australia, though.
It really doesn't. It actually, if you really want to get technical, you could argue it actually basically belongs to Portugal. Because
oh yeah, I suppose
Macau used to be a Portuguese protectorate / colony / trading post, and there still is a lot of Portuguese influence there. But it's in China, technically.
I know. I just don't care. It's not fun. It's not funny to say that, unless you want me to say it a certain way.
I don't know. I don't know if really anyone finds it all that funny the idea that it's in Australia.
China's funnier. It's the most funny.
You're proving my point.
But that's not exaggerated enough and funny. It's like, yeah, it's in China. Who cares? Boring. China doesn't even know where China is. They can't even find themselves on a map.
I mean, I think the problem is they just think they're bigger than they are.
No, actually, they're not allowed to learn how to read.
They think Mongolia is part of them.
I heard the government won't let them learn how to read, so they can't figure out what maps are.
Max Simmons in the FedEx car.
Indeed.
Rene Ermer in the race union car.
I have had to turn this video way down because the new headphones are pretty rocking.
Indeed, tell us about the headphones. So we got time. We got a minute.
Oh, well, to reiterate, they are pretty rocking. I got brand new Beyerdynamic DT 700 Pro X headphones. Through all my research, they were always in like the top 4 of any top 10 must-have list for like the last 3 or 4 or 5 years running. And so everything else was like $1,000 or whatever, or was in the list 1 year and never in another list again. So these guys seem to have the most consistent.
DT 770?
700.
Ah, 700. I've sounded 770, but not a 7.
Yeah, 770s are the previous model. These are the newer. These are newer than the 770s.
Interesting that the numbers are going down.
Yeah. So the 770s and the 990s are the older models, and the 700 and 900s are the newer models. The 900s are open back, and the 990s are also open back, but I want it closed. And goddamn, they fit my head like it's a firm, affectionate musical hug. Whoa, get a little twirly.
Find them for retail for about $339.
Yes, but if you can't find them in country, then you got to pay import fees. So that's why I got them off Amazon, because they're $40-50 more, but that's paying for those fees.
Well, I found them on Amazon for $339.
Oh, really? Maybe you got a Black Friday deal?
Well, let's see. I'm clicking on the link. Ah, yes, they are on sale.
Nice. Now
so
that I
missed them.
The day after they show up at my house, they go on sale. Well done.
All right.
Bollocks.
Grid is forming up here for TT Assen.
TT Assen driving.
And we are going to get ready to go here in the Porsche GT3 Cup cars. All right. Tobias Thierolf on pole. Henrik Andreasen alongside. Here we go.
Make sure you buckle up, because we're about to have 5 minutes of warm-up lap.
Nope, we're off. I was pulling up my notepad for the stewarding notes, and it covered up the video for a second.
Steward. There we go, 19
big 3 wide there. Bertrand Barrier, Magic Kashchuk, and Martin Edmonds getting shovey over third place. Edmonds coming out at least for now in the lead, but him and Kashchuk are not done. Gentlemen, your teammates. You're the Canadian pole.
Toby the Theory Wolf.
Andrew D down the inside of Romy Barthez. I think that was Romy Barthez anyways. Oh no, Barthez is at the back, so it's not Romy Barthez. Who else? Who's running the white and black? Or the white and black. The blue and white car. There you go. Henrik Andreasen in second from Thierolf. You got Edmonds, Kashchuk, Barrier, D, Vega, Ermer, Simmons, Ichazo, Nick, Butler, and Barthez rounding off the field. As Butler overtakes Scott Nick in the back. Although picks up a slowdown penalty in the process of doing so he may have gotten a little bit cheap. You know what I'm saying? In getting that 11th place.
An exciting young Colombian individual, Enrique Anderson, coming along pretty nicely.
Mm-hmm. Slowdown abuse for James Butler once again. I really do not know. I've not raced this track in so long, so don't ask me to predict corners or anything like that, ladies and gentlemen, because it ain't going to happen. Andrew D in 6th place. Oh, it's Andrew D that's in the Romy Barthez livery. Okay, so they've got the same livery. That's what was thrown.
You have been deceived.
I have not been deceived. That implies that they were trying to confuse me. It just happened.
It was because one of them is a decoy.
On board with Max Simmons, winner at Mid-Ohio, losing 8th place there to Rene Ermer as he gets too deep in on the brakes. And Max, you gotta be careful. That could easily that's like a step away from spinning the opponent out. That's going to be a penalty if that happens. Chazo up on his gearbox. Or on his rear end, I should say. I'm used to saying people.
countries.
I'm used to saying up on the gearbox because in Formula One the gearbox literally is at the back of the car. So that's the vernacular. But of course in Tin Tops the gearbox is not really at the back of the car.
It's actually on the ceiling.
Although in these cars it might actually be, now that I think about it, because these are of course Porsches, which tend to have a lot of their mechanical components towards the rear.
I believe each gear is stowed successfully in the wheel hubs.
Oh, that would be interesting. That'd be a bad idea, but it'd be interesting as all hell.
So it's all about redundancy. Also, when are we going to get to see some races with those cool crane cars that they keep in the pits all the time?
It'd be interesting if that became a thing, but I don't think anyone races those in real life, sir.
Why not? You don't think like the crew will just bust one of those things out at like 7 o'clock on a Friday night?
I mean, maybe.
Around the court?
Maybe.
So I don't know who's coming over for dinner tonight, but I have made food.
Oh, spin out. That is.
Yikes.
Was that Tobias Thierolf? That is Tobias Thierolf. The champion is in the wall.
He got squished.
And dropping down the field all the way pretty much to the back. He comes on ahead of Scott Nick. We'll see if Scott appears here in the shot. Ooh, Scott Nick is way behind. What happened to Scott Nick? He's like 30 seconds back.
I don't know. He is
dropping further back. I wonder if he is out of the race.
He has not arrived in the nick of time.
No, not at all. So that gives Henrik Andreasen the lead and promotes Magic Kazchuk in the yellow and black car into third place. Hey, they are very tight. Who you got in the Grey Cup there?
I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
I have a really hard pick because Winnipeg is the team that beat my Ticats twice in the Grey Cup. But my other option is the Argos.
Yeah, that ain't gonna fly.
It's like my two least favorite teams right now.
Let's get Winnipeg one win every 100 years or so.
Well, they've won a couple though recently. They've been very good under the Mike O'Shea tenure.
And his brother Rick
O'Shea. Someone actually did ask me in the MMA Fight Sim, which you can join, viewers, if you want to give me a DM. If we could make someone called Ricochet, but if the gimmick is that Ricochet can never directly hit someone, it would always be a glancing blow, and I don't think I have the coding ability to make that happen.
That sounds a bit weird, yeah. Martin Edmonds, you filthy cheater.
Oh, everybody's going to get a slowdown probably at some point over the course of this race. I wouldn't worry about it too much. The only person I'm going to call a cheater on it is James Butler got one right after overtaking someone, which makes me think he went very off track to get that overtake. Javier Vega running in 6th place. Here's Bertrand Barrier. Let me pull up the standings here, see if we've got any good battles going on for positions. Rene Ermer and Max Simmons are fighting over 2nd place in the championship. Martin Edmonds could be in there, but it depends. He's got to really have a really good solid effort today, and he does have one going, so in 2nd place. That's probably about it. There's a fight between Andreasen and Barrier further down. Little bit of a battle between Vega, D, Romy Bartz, Kazchuk a little bit for like low end top 10. As speaking of Magic Kazchuk, there he is in the wall. That is not good for him. I don't know if there's a pit stop there. Let me look up. Because we haven't seen it. 60 minutes may not require a pit stop.
I mean, if you take it 60 minutes on a pit stop, I think you're missing the point.
mandatory pit stop is open except for sprint rounds. So we do have a pit stop coming today. So hopefully, people who have taken damage, such as Tobias Thierolf and Magic Cash Truck, can continue to get that damage fixed on the mandatory pit stop once the window ends. Time Andreasen with a pretty comfortable lead. Edmonds pretty comfortable. Barrier pretty comfortable. D is under fire from Vega, that battle for fourth place. And then there is this train led by Max Simmons that includes Rene Ermer, Luciano Achazo, and James Butler.
You just wait. Scott Nick's just biding his time.
Well, he's 2 laps down now, so if he's biding his time, he's doing a hell of a job.
He's just going to sprint. You don't understand the
hell of a job.
Power in the car.
Side-by-side action with Vega and Simmons. Simmons ends up off the track. I don't think he'll be able to... Oh. Romain Barthez has decided to drill to the center of the earth to save us all, and I don't really know how that's going to work.
Here I come to save
Looks like we've lost Scott Nick and Roman Barthez. Do not know what happened with Nick. We do. I can tell you what happened with Romain Barthez. That's a dropped connection if I have ever seen one. Not quite as good as the teleportation into outer space one where your planet needs you. But although he's catching up now, so I wonder if he's reconnected. We'll find out. But it's dropping again, so I think we've lost it.
I refuse. I believe in the power of the Nick and how
now he's catching. Well, no, I think we've lost Scott Nick. I think we can safely say that. Now Barthez is catching up, so I don't know. Maybe Barthez is still going around. Maybe not. We'll wait until we see him before we make a final.
He's probably in the parking lot trying to do wheelies and.
Oh, parking lot. Have I ever told you about the mystery circuit known as Miller Motorsports?
How is it a mystery?
So here's the deal. Back in the day, I played a game called Race 07 / Race On / GTR Evolution. It was Race 07 originally, and then they would put out expansions that kind of made it into a different game each time. Anyways, what I'm getting at is you could create custom tracks. You could make up completely fictitious tracks like Road 1 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which I actually thought was a great track. And they should design it in real life, get on that Winnipeg. And people would create, obviously, their hometown tracks or whatever. One of those tracks is a track called Miller Motorsports Park out in Utah. And for one race of the season I was doing, we're like, hey, let's do Miller Motorsports Park. All right. So we load up a server, we get it ready, everyone downloads the files, gets them all set up, loads in, and everyone loads in and goes, okay, well, this is not going to work. And the guy who's running the server is like, what do you mean? Is it like a corrupt file or something? He's like, oh, no, we loaded it fine. We're in the parking lot. We're not in the pit lane. We are in the parking lot. This is a bug track.
Very nice.
It's like, so we spent like 20 minutes looking for the entrance to the track. So here we are out in the parking lot driving F3000 cars around, going, where is it?
Where's the valet? I require parking. Do you validate my parking?
You could actually get into the track, it should be mentioned. So you if you wanted to just like run Miller Motorsports Park, the files worked. You could find the entrance and go in, but like the idea of racing on it was just stupid. Because the pit lane didn't work. So like you couldn't pit. Like if you damaged yourself, you were screwed. But it did have a functional like track layout. It didn't keep track of laps or anything like that, but you could drive it. Henrik Andreasen still leading the way from Edmonds, Barrier, D, Vegas, Simmons, Ermer, Butler, Ichazo, Thierolf, Kaschuk. Barthez has fallen a lap down, so I think we can safely say that he is out of this race. And Kaschuk appears to be going very slowly. He's fallen like a minute and a half back. We did see him in the wall. So he's either pitted to fix that damage, which would make sense, or he's just really way off the pace because of the damage. Which is
the magic cabbage truck done run out of fairy dust.
Yeah, so we're kind of really down to 10 cars. Now the bright side is, from Andreasen down to Thierolf, things are pretty tight. There's a lot of battles going on. Oh, that's Cash Chuck out in front of them. So yeah, that would be the Magic Cash Chuck. He has been into the pit lane. That's why he's so far behind. But that means he will be making 2 pit stops to everybody else's one. Oh no! Well, he did pit. He did fix the car. He is in the wall again.
That's not always convenient.
Max Simmons going side by side with Javier Vega. Now, this is a little cheeky because technically Simmons engaged that under yellow flags. But
So
I would probably I'll let it pass. Although if I was Javier Vega, I might want to report that to the stewards for just. He also is going to lose a spot to Rene Ermer.
A yellow flag means that there was a urine-based incident, right?
No, it means caution, which could be a urine-based incident. Let's be honest.
Fair enough.
How many of the flags do you actually know what they mean?
Green means go, black means you're dead. Checkered flag means you're probably not last.
Well, that one I disagree with. Checkered flag just means you're done the race.
Statistically speaking, you're probably not last.
Statistically speaking, probably not.
I believe a blue flag means that you ain't getting none tonight, and an orange flag means you're Dutch.
There is actually no orange flag.
There is now. It's for Dutch people only.
There's a black and orange flag, which is the meatball flag.
Interesting. Is that because the Baltimore Royals?
Well, because it kind of looks like a meatball. It's a circle with a background. Flag. It's an orange flag with a black circle in the middle. So it's the meatball flag. And it means get your ass into the pits. Something is flying off your car, basically.
Neat.
Your car is unsafe.
So like that just gets waved around every 3 minutes at Bathurst.
No. Although more at Bathurst than probably any other track.
You say no, but I hear yes. And of course, everybody knows that the red flag means that the marinara sauce is ready. Get in the pits and have some pasta.
You're kind of not wrong. Would you like to know what the red flag actually means?
It means go very, very fast.
The red flag means something terrible has happened and we're pausing the race, so everybody return to the pits.
Oh, well,
There you go.
But will there be marinara sauce?
There might be. I mean, especially if it's an Italian race.
Hey, it's in the Ferrari. They got the penne on the cooker.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of drivers probably take a moment to eat a little bit of food on a red flag.
You pull it in for a pit stop, you get half a corn dog in you, and you keep on going.
Bertrand Barrier on the attack against Martin Edmonds, trying to get second place away from him. Battle of the French speakers. And we also have our first pit stop under the mandatory pit stop window. Luciano Chasa.
You think these boys go fishing in Quebec?
Might be. Although Barrier is a proper Frenchman, so probably never been to Quebec.
Wow, proper Frenchman.
Well,
As opposed to the improper. You think you work down at the TD Bank?
Maybe. Maybe work at the TD Bank.
It is the TD Circuit. You work at the TD Bank? Mm-hmm.
Indeed it is.
The one thing I've noticed about my fancy boy headphones is
Big
that people go off the track a lot.
He's back on. He saved it, but he was very close. Anyways, you were saying about your headphones.
It's just that everything's not as harsh. Like, if something comes on that's very loud, yes, it's very loud, but it's also not like, it's not, I don't really know how to describe it. Like, it's a bit more, compressed is not the right word, but it's just not as high and kind of like it's not as bright sounding, I suppose. It's a little hard to describe, but I've come across a few things that turned up way too loud, and yeah, they're way too loud, and I got to turn them down, but it didn't cause me panic.
That's good.
So I'm not really sure how put that together with words, I should probably study audio engineering.
Magic Kazchuk's been in the pits. No surprise there. He had headbutted the wall and probably had significantly damaged the car. So not surprising that he would get in towards the beginning of the pit stop window. Top 8 yet, or top 9 yet to pit. Bertrand Barrier running in 3rd place. Kind of entering that area where people might want to ponder going for undercuts. We'll see if anyone goes for that. Chazo pitted very early, and I'm a little curious as to what was on that. Try to go around the outside is Barrier. I don't think that's going to work.
The undercut was popular when I was a child, but it's a terrible hairstyle. Don't do that.
The undercut has never stopped being popular.
It was terrible then. It's terrible now. Although there was a kid in my high school that went for the authentic mohawk. So he had like legitimately shaved like all of his hair except for this strip right down the middle, but he kept it long, like real long.
I see.
So it was kind of shocking to see something like that. Then I found out later was like an actual authentic Mohican hairstyle.
Ah.
Not just like, you know, punk where they spike it up and it's kind of like a buzz cut kind of mohawk, but like real long hair. It was also the first time I ran into somebody with a mullet. That was a shock.
Oh.
It was actually my other friend Mike, who actually I haven't talked to in quite a long time.
Magic Kazchuk off the track again. Magic, what's up, man? Do you not like this track? You're not enjoying the Assen TT Circuit?
Yes, the TT Assen Circuit is not agreeing with the married man. I think the wife found out he's racing this one. He's like, not having that.
Taking some wife aggro, you're saying?
Potentially pulling wife aggro, potentially also causing a certain amount of baby interference.
Maria looking down the inside this time. Tucks back in behind Martin, who retains the position.
See, El Martinio. So if Martin wins this, he wins the whole series, right?
No. We've already been through this. Tobias Thierolf has already won the series.
No. Martin,
the only way
Martin
for Tobias Thierolf.
Ah!
Oh! Barrier spins out Edmonds.
Very nice. Let's have a collision.
He follows the gentleman's code, which actually creates a little bit of a dangerous moment there.
A little bit.
But it will promote Andrew D. and Rene Ermer to 3rd and 4th place. And Andrew D. might get 2nd place here, and he does. So Andrew D. now top.
I'm not going to lie. I kind of was hoping when 2 cars are sideways on the track, 3 cars are coming around, maybe some wild shit will happen.
Yeah, you got a little bit of wild shit, but not that much wild shit. Side-by-side action there between, that is Bertrand and Max fighting over 5th place. Ermer, by the way, up into 4th. He got past Max at some point.
I don't know what's happened to Max Simmons. I think he's maturing and getting into harder and harder drugs.
Oh.
Maybe losing focus on what is best in life.
Maybe a little bit.
I heard he's switched from the Percocets to the heroin.
Big slide by Max Simmons there, but he holds it. And down the inside in the background goes Javier Vega trying to get past Max Simmons. It does not work, at least on this occasion. James Butler and Tobias Thierolf also on the back of this group. Butler on the attack against Vega for 7th place. After the failed attack on Simmons, but he will not get it. This has put Henrik Andreasen way out ahead now, 12 seconds up the road due to the contact between Barrier and Edmonds.
Back out, it's Mario Andretti with a steel chair. Somebody's waving the Paisley flag. That can only mean Mechagodzilla has been unleashed.
The career of Mario Andretti is truly phenomenal.
Well, he won every single race.
Very few people. Well, number one, very few people have won the kart championship and the Formula One championship. I think it's literally just him and Nigel Mansell, the two. But additionally, very few people, and possibly Emerson Fittipaldi, as Martin Emmons is second place there to Andrew D as he goes deep into the corner. But even more so, it's very few people are still competitive into their like 50s and 60s.
Some say Mario Andretti's still out there winning every single race he ever enters to this day.
Let's see, how old was Mr. Mario Andretti? Oh, Lord Max Simmons, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, that was an overshot, a shot and a half.
Do it again.
Let's see here. What year did Mr. Mario Andretti win the kart title? There he is.
Every year.
1984. Okay, not quite as old as I was thinking. He was only 44 years old.
What if Mario Andretti and Dario Franchitti collided in a matter transporter and were forced to open a pasta restaurant?
Now, I will say this: he was still a race winner by the time he was 53. So, still very good. Now I'm gonna look up Emerson Fittipaldi, see if he ever won the kart title.
3 times, all of them last week.
I literally wouldn't surprise me if he won a bunch, and I'm just not remembering. Yes, he did. He won the 1989 championship with Patrick Racing. Quite dominantly, I must say. He scored 10 more points than Rick Mears to win the title, winning 5 races.
But they are nothing compared to Dario Argento and his unique use of joie de vivre.
I mean, kart does have a championship that was the unthinkable to a certain degree. When Juan Pablo Montoya and Dario Franchi literally tied for the championship at the end of the season.
Then the next season they were physically tied together and made to races Siamese twins.
No, Juan won the championship by virtue of having more race wins.
Juan won.
Somebody went down the pit lane there. I'm trying to figure out.
Did somebody call?
Might have been 0.
Did anybody call 9 Juan after Juan won the championship?
Not a bit of a bad idea.
Call him, I don't care.
Martin Edmonds getting very squirrely there. I wonder if those tires are gone. And it opens the door for Rene Ermer to take 3rd place. Might also let Javier Vega blast. So if I'm Martin, and I am his pit crew chief, I might be telling him to get in the pit lane, because it looks like his tires are kind of cooked. And big contact there with Vega. They keep pointed in the correct direction. Vega to the inside again. We get front row seats with James P. Butler. Butler looking for his way through. And Vega on the inside, Butler on the outside. Butler's got it! The Total Porsche moving into 5th place.
He buttled along quite nicely.
Theoretic and Barrier just kind of fell back. They have contact. I thought one of them had gone into the pits, but it looks like neither have served their pit stop and are still relatively here. So I wonder if there was just some contact that we didn't catch.
They should probably be able to fix that with some contact cement.
My favorite part of the current season. Eggnog is available for like $2 a carton.
Ooh, very nice. Maybe that's what I should have done. I made butternut squash soup today. And to make that, you take the stick blender and you blend the shit out of it so it's nice and smooth.
Oh no, Javier Vega, drive-through penalty for ignoring slowdowns.
Sir, you must report to the principal's
suddenly
office.
Become a dream for Javier Vega. Butternut squash was like the weird food with my mom. She never could remember that I liked it. And there was constantly like, I didn't know that you like butternut squash. I'm like, Mom, we go through this every day. I like squash. So Martin hits the curb a little bit hard there and loses a spot to Butler and Vega, although Vega has a penalty to serve.
I think that's going to be my move now. So to make the butternut squash soup, you do all your shenanigans and then you simmer everything so it's nice and tender, and then you blend the shit out of it and you add cream.
Yes.
But you also add a bunch of spices. You can skip a lot of that if you just add eggnog. It has all that stuff in it.
Kinda, yeah.
I think that's going to be my move from now on. That's going to be like the November move. God, the easy cheat on that one. God damn it.
Easy cheat, easy deal. Barrier's been in the pits and made his pit stop, coming up behind Echaza. Still 8 people to pit. And also Vega going into the pits now to serve his penalty. I would imagine. It's a wide pit lane entrance here. Wow.
Wow, now you're pit lane shaming.
Aye, it's handy. It's not shame. It's easy to get in there. I'm calling the pit lane very easy.
Mago comes around the corner, looks at the pit lane. That's a huge bitch.
It's better than what I normally have discovered whenever I'm going into the pit lane, which is, oh god, that is a narrow ass pit lane. Ooh, here we go.
You must now thread the needle between 2 metal stanchions
Yes.
that are conveniently at jaw height. Also, to go back to the headphones, the real velour covering of the ear cups, fucking comfy, my friend.
Gotcha.
Like, it's not just a gimmick. This is some good feeling stuff. I'm like the Zap Brannigan of headphones right now.
I understand.
Alert the men. I've acquired
Are you trying to tell me you've never been so happy to be beaten up by a woman?
I've said waves and waves of my own headphones against them.
Oh, into the pit lane goes Andrew D.
Kiff.
Seriously, that is a wide ass pit lane. Martin Edmonds also in. So both Canadians making their way down the pit lane. We'll see where they come out in relation to Echaza. It's kind of the golden standard right now. Vega didn't fall particularly far behind for that drive-through, to be honest. He was only like 10 seconds back, so it's a relatively short drive-through penalty by the looks of it. Short lane. Max Simmons in 4th place. We know that he'll probably go long. Because that's his trademark.
He drives long, and then he drives long as well.
D's out of the pits before Edmonds. Oh no, Edmonds is alongside him. And Martin Edmonds with a heck of a pit stop comes out ahead of Andrew D. Comes out behind Barrier and Echazo. They will have fresher tires, particularly than Echazo. He pitted very early.
He is prepared for some destruction.
And Martin gets a little bit slow there, and Andrew D makes his way around. James Butler up into 3rd place, although yet to pit. Maybe Total Porsche. Andreasen, Ermer, Butler, Simmons, Thierolf, and Vega going deep. And somebody going in the pit lane there, it looks like.
They should have gone before they left out.
Rene Ermer. So where Ermer comes out will be interesting, because it seems like the guys who went in earlier have made an undercut work pretty well. It's just, will their tires get to the end of the race without issue? Tobias Thierolf also in the pit lane. Max Simmons seems to have good pace right now. He's catching up to James Butler. But of course, I have to say it. If you're Max Simmons right now, you ponder undercutting Butler, I think, because catching up to him, you don't want to waste time on track. Well, Barrier and Edmonds and D are currently kind of racing around out there with relatively free air. And Irmer has rejoined ahead of D and Edmonds. We're looking at probably something like a 35 second pit stop, all told.
35-minute pit buffet.
Max Simmons is in. Oh my lord, Byron. 3 drivers, no less than 3 drivers are overcutting Max Simmons.
But he's not supposed to be in there until like 20 minutes from now.
Yeah. Well, not that much. Not that far. The pit window closes at some point, but. But we are seeing Vega, Butler, and Andreasen all overcut Max Simmons. This is unusual. Or Butler might have gone in, actually. Butler has stayed behind him and is losing ground to Vega. So actually, it might be just 2. Or we might be getting a timing glitch that also.
Time is relative. And maybe also space. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
But smell is not relative.
Luciano Echazo up into 3rd place. So Echazo's really worked that undercut to solid value. And actually, no, Simmons stayed out. I got mixed up there somewhere. It was Butler and Vega who pitted. So actually, crisis averted. Max Simmons is still out there, has not pitted.
Yeah, I told you. He's got like 20 more minutes before he pits.
Well, you know what's throwing me off is you got that chicane at the end of the lap, and it really looks like when you take the chicane that you're going down the pit road, and that the pit road really kind of is the track, so that's what's throwing me off. Yeah. Andreasen leads, Simmons in 2nd. Simmons is 23 seconds behind him, though. Wow, Andreasen's got way out ahead. Still has to pit, of course, but way ahead.
I hear that Andreasen fuels his car with liquid cocaine.
Could be. Luciano Echazo running in 3rd, but has a gap back to Barrier. Barrier is leading this train that includes Irmer, D, and Edmonds. Butler is rejoined a little bit behind them. Then Theorolf, then Vega. Going down the inside of Andrew D. Canadian on Canadian violence.
Edmonds and the masters of the universe.
And a really bad slide there, really badly timed slide there from Andrew D. And that will promote Edmonds to 6th place. Simmons has fallen to like 57 seconds behind. So, he served his pit stop. Okay. So Andreasen's going the longest. Simmons has come out in 2nd place, so the overcut has worked for Max Simmons. Damn. Because he is on the freshest set of tires of anybody. And he's in 2nd place. I don't think he has any real chance of the win here. I think he was just too far behind Henrik Andreasen. But he has played a blinder here.
Well, I mean, word on the street is that he's not bad at racing. He's kind of okay at racing.
Right. He is pretty okay.
He is fairly tolerable at racing.
So Andreasen leads. Simmons, Echazo, Barrier, Irmer, Edmonds, D, Butler, Theorolf, Vega, and Kaschuk is still running, but really having a race of his own right now. Having had a pair of contacts with the wall.
I mean, technically, Scott, Nick, and Romy Bartz, they haven't pitted either, so they can still win this.
No, they really, really can't. Really can't.
You gotta believe.
It's not a matter of belief, sir. It's not a matter of belief.
I believe.
This is racing, sir. It's not a believe, conceive, achieve type thing. You gotta actually get things done.
You mean I paid all this money for Tinkerbell dust and it doesn't even work?
Correct.
Shit. You want to do good, so you try and do good. You give 110%, and the 10% is steroids.
YouTube is recommending Billy Gunn main event run. Better than you remember. I remember it being pretty bad. So
depends on the mic skills at the time, I think. I here's Gunn in the ring, but I don't know how well he carried.
Well, here's the problem with the Billy Gunn main event run. It was mostly against The Rock. So if you're reliant on mic skills, you probably don't want to put someone with The Rock. The Rock will kind of show those skills up.
He's okay. No one's ever going to put The Rock in a movie or anything.
That's where we had The Rock's famous promo of, "My name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is."
You think everybody's going to give a shit because you took some mask off of some jabroni named Juventude?
Although, in fairness, The Rock will put people verbally over. His feud with the Hurricane. Oh, Lord. So good. So good.
Yep. Although I think I'd have to go back and rewatch the Chris Jericho debut in the Wobbly Wobbly Bee. But I remember it going extremely well because like Chris Jericho was Chris Jericho, hit all the Chris Jericho isms, was the spoiled child, did all the things, and The Rock did The Rock things, and I remember it coming off extremely well.
I like their. It wasn't on Jericho's debut, but during the invasion, The Rock comes out. He's cutting a promo on. I forget if he was cutting the promo on Rhino or Booker T, but Rhino, Booker T, and Stephanie McMahon were in the ring.
Yeah.
And then Jericho comes out and just runs all three of them down, and The Rock looks at him and just goes, "Oh, I see what this is. You want to play Sing Along with The Rock?" So they basically just roasted Stephanie McMahon, Booker T, and Rhino for a good, 7 minutes.
Dirty, filthy, disgusting, trash bag, ho!
Oh!
Hey!
Rene Irmer's going to pick up a spot there as Bertrand Barrier loses control of the car.
Speaking of trash
keeping an eye on the gap for Luciano Achazzo here. He's actually right on the tail of Max Simmons still, despite the tire deficit. But he is losing time to the car behind. Irmer is caught up from 8+ seconds behind to about 6 seconds behind. So the gap is closing. But he's oddly keeping up with Simmons. So Simmons either just does not have the pace today, or he can't really light those tires up.
I believe it's just because of all the heroin he's smuggling in the tires.
That could be it. Maybe he doesn't want to fire those tires up because he'll burn up the heroin.
Yeah, you cook the heroin too much. You can't that's crack at that point, isn't it?
I got you.
No, that's cocaine.
You're not wrong.
Market value is very different.
Very. Bertrand Barrier is rejoined in 9th place behind Toby Theroff, head of Javier Vega. So Luciano Achazzo put up a great run here. Worked the undercut. Somehow is still keeping up with Max Simmons, but they are losing ground pretty quickly. Because last I talked to you, the gap was down to about 6 seconds. It's now at 4.5 seconds to round. So Irmer is eating into both right now. He is coming like Jaws the shark. Battles for the podium still very much on. The win, not so much. That's 22 plus seconds to Henrik Andreasen right now. But we do have Irmer. We do have Edmonds. They're both coming. D is coming with them. So back to about 6th place could still end up on the podium without any real terrible difficulties. James Butler might be a stretch. I can 7th place. We'll see. We will see. Speaking of James Butler, big spin out there. Cast your curse.
Would you stop doing that to people?
Well, technically, it's not a caster's curse because we were doing this not live.
Is this not live?
Yeah.
I must have taken too much of the LSD.
Take less of the LSDs.
I cannot.
Well, then you're going to continue hallucinating things.
I'm part of a special government program.
Part of a special government program designed to give you powerful telekinetic powers.
Could be.
Spooky stuff was done.
They haven't really stated what the whole goal of the project is, but they assure me that they are the government.
Did you at least get some ID this time?
I mean, it's, classified.
Byron, have you ever considered that you just like letting people do things to you that involve drugs?
Yeah. And
that they don't really have to be the government to do it to you.
Possibly. Most of the time it's surgical.
Oh, Lord. Interesting. Intriguing. What is going on with Max Simmons here? He is losing. He's the last guy to pit outside of Andreasen. So if anything, he should be the second fastest guy on the track right now. Did he just not change tires or something? I don't know what's going on here.
I believe
that could explain. That could explain how he jumped a bunch of cars in the queue. It is possible that Max Simmons literally just did not change the tires.
I believe he changed the tires into puppies.
Oh, why would you want to do that?
Because puppies are adorable.
Yes, but then you're driving on puppies.
Well, I didn't say anything about that.
That's terrible.
That's your own sick invention.
It's horrifying. You've given me nightmare fuel for the next month.
Wow, you're inventing things. I'm going to report you to my government handlers. And then maybe you, sir, will become the microdose agent of 2023.
Oh, believe me, the government won't take me. I wouldn't want to turn the tires into puppies. That's nightmare fuel. You've ruined my entire.
Oh, sure. You just want tires everywhere. Go to the pound and there's just tires locked up.
I mean, they don't feel things, so yeah.
Wow.
That's better than going. It's better than going to the pound and finding puppies locked up.
Just dismissing the feelings of tires as if they mean nothing.
They don't mean anything. Just ask Martin Edmonds.
Well, at this point, I just associate Martin Edmonds with Don Johnson's character from Django. Just, enslaving the tires.
Big Daddy.
It's mostly the white outfit, I think.
Oh, yeah. That is a sparkly outfit.
No, I didn't say that.
Then I don't know what you said, Big Daddy. I can see that. I can see how that would be.
I haven't watched that in a while. That is a quality movie film.
Luciano Ichazo on the hunt for Max Simmons all over the back end. Irmer is now 2.3 seconds back. He is coming. Edmonds and D also still in the picture. Barrier and Thierolf have caught up to Butler, and there's a three-way fight going on for 7th place as well.
I wonder how we got Don Johnson to be in that fucking movie. You just,
Don Johnson was also in Machete. I think he's just cool with doing stuff for Quentin and Robert Rodriguez.
that is fair.
He's cool with being like, really, really pretty minimal part, but do your thing. I feel like there's no one that's really going to say no to Quentin Tarantino. If we're being completely
That
honest.
is possibly true.
I mean, you got Mike Myers to play General Ed Fennick in Inglourious Basterds.
You're not wrong.
Chazzo on the attack. There's Irmer in the background. You can even see Edmonds and Dean a little bit further back. This is the battle for the 2 podium spots. 2 of these guys will likely be on the podium at the end of the race. And to be honest, I'm not sure who's most likely. I mean, right now, Max has got that spot. Right now, Chaz has got that spot. But there seems to be something wrong with Max's pace as James Butler loses the spot to Tobias Thurl. And, of course, we know Chazo pitted super early in the pit window. And thus probably has the oldest tires of the bunch. And has been losing ground significantly to the 3 cars behind him. Andreasen continues to pull away out front. That gap is up to 24 seconds. Chazzo.
Yeah, Lucha.
Still running in 3rd.
Speaking of the Marinera's house, it's your boy, the Italian pizza.
Wait, who's the Italian pizza?
Luciano.
Luciano.
Hey. He's like the Fonz, but tropical. Oh wait, Argentina. Maybe he's from the mountains. I don't know.
I mean, normally our thing with the Chazzo is just his family arrived there in the 1940s.
It's possible.
Simmons under pressure. Butler's still hanging on against Barrier there, battle for 8th place. And still hanging on to the back of Thirol, so still a chance there. Time winding down here, 9 minutes to go around TT Assen Circuit.
The TT Assen Circuit?
At a minute 140 lap, we're talking about probably somewhere around 6 laps. 5-6 laps.
Where do you think they keep the strippers here at the TT Assen Circuit?
Well, it's Holland, so probably just
You got like a red flag district?
maybe going to the red flag district, guys.
Whoop whoop.
Irmer has joined the battle for 2nd proper. Close the gap to less than a second. Barrier still on the tail of James Butler. Butler running wide. Looks like he'll still hang on, at least for the time being. Bertrand Barrier. Oh, no, Butler. Too much curb. Butler goes off. And through goes Barrier into 8th place. Butler rejoins behind Javier Vega in 10th. continuing to be the danger man here as far as the podium is concerned.
Danger, danger, high octane. Right.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong. Pretty high octane gas around here in the GT Cup cars. I was expecting more of a fight between Andrew D and Martin Edmonds, but that hasn't really come about. Like, they're close enough to still go at it, but after coming out of the pits side by side, that just really happened. And we're up on the tail of Chazo. Rene.
Hey, what?
Rene has not actually been on the podium since outside of his win at Nordschleife, so we'll see if he can get that done. That Nordschleife win has really been a humongous highlight. And what has otherwise been like kind of just an okay season for him. Next best finish being fourth place at Watkins, Glen in Mid-Ohio. This would also, I think, be Luciano Achazo's first podium of the season. Not often that we see him go a season without a podium. Previous best finish was back at the season opener at Oschersleben, where he finished 6th. Simmons, of course, looking for his third podium. He's been third. He's been first. Looking at a second. Edmonds would love to add his fourth podium as well. He's at 3. Triple thirds with Mid-Ohio double and Watkins Glen.
I hear that they're going to go to the Macau Glen of Brandon Satchway.
And Andrew D is coming off his only podium of the season at Interlagos, so he would love to get a second to finish the season. Time is running down. Henrik Andreasen looking to take his first win of the season. He's been on the podium 4 times, but never the top spell. Top step. Pardon.
What happens if the time runs out and they haven't successfully delivered their pizza? Do they then have to cover the cost of said pizza?
Yes. Usually how it works. Magic Cash Chuck getting out of the way under blue flags. Simmons still second, Achazo third, Ermer fourth, Edmonds fifth. A little bit slow off the curb there. Achazo going side by side with Rene Ermer. Martin Edmonds is also sniffing. And Achazo, oh, he got that first turn all wrong. And he's going to lose 2 spots, dropping down to 4th or 5th place behind both Ermer and Edmonds.
No championship for him.
Well, he wasn't in the championship mix before this.
You keep saying that. I think you're just biased.
I keep saying that the man who's won the championship is the man in 7th place, Tobias Thierolf, and that's not really up for grabs.
All you do is look at the raw numbers. You don't understand what it takes to drive the thing and do the. You want to do good, so you give it 110%.
I mean, the championship is defined by the raw numbers. I don't know how to break this to you.
What kind of prejudicial judging is this?
Andrew D has dropped a fair bit off. Oh, Edmonds is off the track! It's going to open the door for Achazo, who did not get through. Wow. Just kind of took the pressure off Rene Ermer there. minutes to go. Probably 2 more laps around this circuit. D looks to the outside. Look at a couple places. He's hungry for a Chazo spot. But Chazo was the ultimate undercutter, so I don't know what the tire situation is here. Don't know if they had to take tires. Don't know if it was optimal to take tires. But theoretically, there could be a tire advantage for Andrew D.
What you do is take the tires and you throw them out of your window at other cars, thus creating an advantage.
Oh. Very Death Race of you.
Hell yeah.
Still got the pressure on. Rene Ermer's still sniffing around that second place. This is big because, of course, Ermer and Simmons are fighting each other for the championship second place. I do believe, by the math, Ermer in third place does have it, so he doesn't have to get past Simmons. But it would be a nice cherry on top.
That's a lot of shenanigans.
I see a lot of smoke in the background. And I see a Chazo and D dropping back. Did they come to blows? D overtaken by Tobias Thierolf. Wonder if something went on there, because there was a lot of smoke in the background. By the way, somehow Thierolf has now finally left Barrier for just dead, which is interesting.
What if
they were battling for a long time?
What if there's a timing glitch and they thought it was 420? That's what all the smoke is about.
Maybe. Rene Ermer looking for that second place. But it looks like he is, for the second time this season, going to stand on the podium. Following Nordschleife, where he stood on the top step of the podium, ahead of Tobias Thierolf and Max Simmons.
And Max Simmons comes through with a fucking giant win, takes the whole series, based on prejudicial numbers and stuff.
Checkered flag is out. Henrik Andreasen is your winner, I do believe, as somebody off in the background there.
The checkered flag.
James Butler.
Checkered flag, I know this one. This is the one where you have to stop and play chess before you can keep going.
Andreasen is your winner. Can Ermer get it? Can Martin get on the podium? We're going to find out here in the last chicane. And it is going to be Simmons ahead of Rene Ermer and Martin Edmonds, second, third, and fourth. Oh, Luciano! No! Luciano Chazo into the wall.
Sir, you must
Thierolf goes through. D goes through.
Price.
And Tobias Thierolf, who looked like he was getting no better than 7th place, 2 laps from the end of this race, ends up in 5th. And that's some good luck. And Chazo actually going through the pit lane at the end, as well as Kazchuk, to finish the race. That's going to cost you Chazo. He's going to drop down behind both Bertrand Barrier and Javier Vega, who are going to move up into 7th and 8th place. Vega, by the way, with the fastest lap, 39.1. Interesting. And we did lose Romain Barthez and Skotnik. Final standings update, although this is pending any stewarding action. 153.5 points for Tobias Thierolf, 113.5 for Rene Ermer, 105.5 for Max Simmons. Then it's Martin Edmonds on 103, 83 for Henrik Andreasen, who was dead even at the end of the season with Bertrand Barrier. Andrew D, Javier Vega, Romain Barthez, and Magic Kazchuk round off your top 10 in the team's championship. Your champions with 298 points. Tugas Racing number 1. Tobias Thierolf, Henrik Andreasen, Rene Ermer. They took 6 wins over the course of this 10 race campaign. I think 10 races. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 races actually, so it's even better. Second place to the Canadian pole, 2.2, way behind Then Orange Overclocked Racing, La Diversità, and Esports Racing Argentina, rounding off your top 5. Byron, you got any final thoughts?
Go learn about sharks. Sharks are fucking cool.